I'm here
Okay.
with Michael Calcagno,
Thank you.
homes in Santa Barbara. Michael is my absolute go-to agent in Santa Barbara. Whenever I talk about Michael, I say Michael owns Santa Barbara. Now he doesn't actually own it, but he owns a big portion of it, and he works with probably people that own most of the real estate in Santa Barbara. But I can tell you this, though. I was impressed by your work before I met you, but I'm more impressed by the kind of person you are. Because the
Oh,
kind of person you are, I like that the way that your team works. I like that you have so much heart. I like how you take care of your clients. And then you have this incredible work ethic as well. Your work is gorgeous. So you're like the full package as far as I'm concerned, Michael. So I'm very
well,
happy to hear it.
thank you.
Yes, it's very true. Plus, I need to have you say something because you got that deep, raspy voice. I need you to say one thing for me. Ready?
Yes. What?
I'm Batman.
It's black. I'm Batman.
There we go. Okay. So tell me,
Fire away.
I know you represent a lot of celebrities.
Yes.
So congratulations. That's what, as an agent, that's like, it's so incredible. So what is the craziest, think about a celebrity that you work with and the craziest inspection that you've ever come across.
Probably a pest inspection with a
Hmm.
celebrity, actually.
Was
Um,
the celebrity a pest or was it the actual?
no comment. I take the Fifth Amendment on that one. Um, no, it was the pest inspection. And
Mhm.
as you know, pest inspections are not just termites, they're also wood eating, like mold. We
Mhm.
found mold in a house. I think once we got into it, it was over $75,000.
Oh my gosh. So what did you do? So when you find it, what's the first thing you do? Do you just go, oh, have someone come in and remediate, or do you have a process that you can maybe help your clients through?
Well, at that point, yes, you have to remediate it, obviously, but you're still at that point in negotiations. So now you have to pivot, and you've got
Hmm.
to find a way to bring both parties back together.
Absolutely. So that's part of your
And
finesse.
yeah, but it's a little difficult when you were representing both sides.
Oh boy. See, now that's another topic that we're going to get to later because that's when we have to do. Okay, so if you're dealing with termite, let's say you represent the seller in this case.
Mhm.
And buyer comes in and brings in $75,000 dollar bill to take care of X, Y, Z. I know
Yep.
with me, what I want to do is go, I want to make sure this guy's legit. Make sure he's not an alarmist bringing in an inflated bill. So I would probably want to bring in another inspector. But then there's problems with that. Because what if you bring in the other inspector and he thinks it's even worse? So what do you do in that situation?
Well, okay, so I'm going to answer that in a two-part way.
Sure.
This inspection happened after the fact, meaning we hadn't closed, but we released contingencies, but they opened walls, and all of a sudden it just kept bleeding up.
Oh no. So when you
So
say release contingencies, can you tell people what that means?
that means the buyer was, we're done, we're buying it. The seller's like, great, we're sold. Their earnest money deposit is technically up for grabs to the seller,
Mm-hmm. That risk, uh-huh.
at risk, but all of a sudden a wall got opened and it became a major issue. Major.
Oh my God. So what
So
did you do? You're in a terrible situation right now because contingencies are released, and in this case, you represent both sides. What do you do?
you finesse it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to explain to the seller that now they have an issue that's been opened.
Mm-hmm.
It
So
doesn't
it's
matter
new.
whether it's, yeah, it doesn't matter whether this buyer buys it or not. You can cancel on them and somebody else is going to have to deal with it or you're going to. So it's
Right.
just it becomes an issue you have to deal with. And
Right. Right.
it's I always say my job is not negotiating, it's bringing people together.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. It's a really
Yeah.
good way of putting it. So you basically give both sides the full picture, let them know what
Hmm.
the pros and cons are of it, and then say,
Yep.
how are we going to work this out together?
Without question. It's the only thing you can do.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, that's one of the, gosh, when I'm talking to you, I think of so many other questions because if I know you're going to be on the other side of a deal, so
Mhm.
I think that answered that question. But let's say you go into a deal or you're about to accept an offer and there's five offers. The first thing I do, and if even with the team, is I look at the agents and I say, who is going to be the easiest, most reasonable person to work with? Who's the real pro that's not going to come in there wanting to show just how bad they are and everything, not show how smart they are? And so in that case, I think, so let's say you have multiple offers. I mean, there was a recent market where you'd have 5, 10, 15 offers.
Yeah.
So let's have that. Let's talk about that. So how do you choose? You have 15 people. How do you choose the best offer if you represent the seller?
Well, I think you just nailed it on the head. It's I have to look at who the agent is. Who are
Mm-hmm.
the buyer's agents? Um,
Right.
then you definitely look at who the buyers are and what are their terms and funds and all of that. But really, it does come down to who is the agent,
Right.
because that's you're. I always say every deal is a relationship.
Right.
You have to like me. It's like a quick dating game, and
Mm-hmm.
you've got to know that I have great communication with that other agent, that I trust them,
Absolutely.
and that they're going to do a good job, that they also know what they're doing. And that's how then I advise my sellers and say, look, we've got these five offers as you just posed.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's at, this price, and the other one's at this, but maybe that middle one is the best one because they're going to get it done. And
Right,
they're going to
right. And
be,
that's the person that you'll probably want to give more information to as well. Say, hey
without
guys, if you
question.
really want to do this, I have a deal
Hmm.
where one of my team came to me, and I'm going to actually use a name because it's such a compliment to the guy, and if he hears that, I think he'll be flattered.
Great.
Avi Barazani, he's just a great agent. And I remember when I was a younger agent, but still had a team. One of my team members came to me and said, "Hey, I've got this deal I just submitted an offer, and it's Avi Barazani, and is he the real deal? I don't know. I don't know." He just had all of his thoughts on who he was, and I said, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I've done a deal with Avi. He is one of the best agents in the business. He's amazing. Take him seriously. He gets things done. He stays calm. He really makes the deal and it facilitates the deal." And
Yeah.
I called Avi, and sure enough, my buyer's agent ends up getting the deal, and then we get it done. And so those relationships are crucial.
I think that's the whole business is relationships.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah. Hey, so listen, I remember a long time ago you told me about some sort of a deal that you had where there was a divorce, and again, we're not going to mention any names. We're going to,
Mm,
protect the innocent here.
mm.
But tell me about that, and what happened, and how you took care of it, so that you can educate our audiences here.
Here's what I would say. It was a very tumultuous deal. Once again, actually, I don't think on this one I was representing the buyer. I was definitely representing the seller, so I wasn't both
Hmm.
sides. But I also have found that I am more of a life coach or therapist than I am an agent.
Interesting. Hmm.
And to be able to go between the two parties, meaning the husband and wife getting divorced,
Hmm.
and get the deal done was a challenge. It's probably why I have gray hair in my beard.
Uh-huh.
But what was the most challenging part of it was honestly getting them to see eye to eye and realize go your separate ways. This is the last thing you have. It's your house, and just finish it. Don't make this a fight. And it's not the buyer's problem.
Right.
Your issues are not the buyer's problem. So finish it and move forward.
I like what you said about sometimes you have to be kind of a therapist. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way, because the truth
No,
is, I think that happens in life with everybody. But if you can be there, support them, encourage them, but not get in the middle. That's what I think the key is that you have to represent the estate, and you have to represent both of them equally. And I
it's
think that
bringing
that's the
people
tricky
together.
part.
Yeah, it's
That's the
bringing
tricky
people
part.
together. Yeah,
Yeah.
without question.
And that's one of those things too that makes a guy like you so good is that you obviously you're very seasoned, you're really bright, etc. But the fact that you know, you can negotiate those waters, and that you have that talent to, I don't know, to finesse and to help people through things. A lot of people aren't able to do that, and so I think that's where choosing the right agent is really, really key.
Yeah, I would absolutely. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for saying that. I think I have
Sure.
thick skin and a mild temperament.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get riled up about certain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just realize that there's always an end goal, and that's what we all are working towards. Not even agents, even the buyers and the sellers. There's an end goal.
Right.
So,
It's almost like a Stephen Covey thing. You know, it's like, what do you want to accomplish? Where are you
right,
trying to get? So let's focus on that.
right,
And that's what I like to do. And
yeah.
there's a Stephen Covey book for business and for family life. And I'm thinking like, man, it applies everywhere, doesn't it? Where do you want to get? And
Absolutely.
let's figure out how to get there.
Yeah. I probably have less of a thick skin with my kids than I do with my clients. But um, so what I have started doing is when we write offers now, you can use an NDA for a celebrity, right?
Hmm.
So, which means you cannot disclose who they are. The
Right.
transaction is silent.
Hmm.
But you can also now use an NDA.
Wait,
Uh,
don't go to the next one. Don't go to the
okay.
next one
Okay.
first. Yes. So
So,
so if you get an NDA, and it basically means that you can't tell who it is, that you're going to protect their identity. Now, why does a celebrity want an NDA in the first place?
well, multiple reasons. But if you don't mind me correcting you, an
Sure.
NDA doesn't mean that you can't only disclose who it is. You can't
Hmm.
even talk about the offer,
Hmm.
price, terms, anything.
Right. Right.
So, why would a celebrity want that? Because they don't want to know, or they don't want people to know that they bought the house or whatnot. Like a TMZ will come in and probably find out, because
Right.
obviously, county records are public, but it depends how they take title and all that. But an
Exactly.
NDA stops a lot of things.
Hmm.
So that's why we use them.
So with an NDA, if you're not supposed to disclose things, what about when at the close of the deal,
Mhm.
and you have to put down the price? So what do you do?
Well, that would depend. To be very honest, is it in the MLS? If so, then I have to record it.
Hmm.
And it is what it is. If it's not in the MLS, which happens a lot because they're off
Hmm.
market, sorry, there was a fly. If they're not on the market, then I
Hmm.
don't have to disclose anything.
Hmm.
It just will get recorded, and 99.9% of the time, it's not in their name. It's under an
Hmm.
LLC or maybe a business manager's name.
Right.
So then nobody knows.
Yeah, that's where really you want to talk to your estate planning attorney too, because they can get creative with how they want you to record it and and it can be silent, and there's lots of
Oh,
creative
yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
There's no perfect way. I
No.
closed a deal once, and in this case, it was a family I was closing a deal for, but it was a celebrity who was purchasing it.
Hmm.
And after the deal, and they were lovely, they were delightful, seriously. And
Yeah.
then at the close of the deal, I got a call from their assistant saying, "Hey, look, can you take down all the pictures and everything?" Oh, no, he made a demand. He says, "You need to take down all the pictures, da da da." And I said, "Well, you know what? The best way to do this really is just to ask me, because I don't have to do that. But you can ask me, and most likely I'm going to say yes, because they were lovely people. Why wouldn't I?" And he
Right.
kept on being a real dick. And I'm going, "What are you doing?" So finally, the celebrity themselves calls me, and they said, "Hey, Scott, we had such a good time together, and we felt a really nice rapport with you. What's going on?" I said, "Look, I'm happy to take him down, but your guy, his tone is totally off. He's making a demand of me, and the truth is, this is a gorgeous listing, and I'm going to take it down, but I just wanted to be asked. I wanted to be asked nicely." I said, "Look, I'm going to do it for you. Maybe you should be the first line of defense next time, because your guy is coming across a little bit harsh." And
Yep.
so
Yeah.
but they've done that, and it's happened two or three times where I had to take them down. I'm going like, "Not on this one. This is so beautiful," and I had to take
Well,
down the website. And so he keeps pushing the issue, and I said, "Look, here's the deal. It's my job to get the best offer. The reality is you're one of five, so I don't have to talk about yours if you don't want, but it seems like what you're doing is making things difficult. And at the end of it, what's going to happen is my seller is not going to take you seriously." And that's exactly what happened. The seller
Yeah.
said, you know what? Why is this guy being such a pain? So this is the funny part.
Yeah.
A couple of days later, we're going through counters with the other offers. The agent comes back and says, hey, so what's going on with the deal? And I said, we're at like, 4.5 million. No, I didn't say that. He says, what part of the deal? And I knew we were at 4.5 million. He says, well, what number do we need to get it? And I said, hold on a second, I'm going to send you an NDA. Because
Right.
there's no way I'm telling you this.
Right.
Are you kidding? So I just thought it was funny. So, but have you found that it can bounce back at you if you propose
Oh,
that, or in your market, is that pretty normal?
no, it's something that's new that's happening, and absolutely it can bounce back at you without question. I mean,
Right.
you are setting yourself up for either success or failure, and you don't know which.
Well put. Okay.
Uh, so you've got to read the market, read the property, and also know the agent that you're working with, which comes back to what you originally said.
There you
Uh,
go. Okay.
so you can do it, but
So
it's
you're
it's a
using the
great.
NDA. Basically, you're using the NDA. That's like an arrow in your quiver. Is that right? Arrow in your quiver, right?
Yeah,
Quiver.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so. That's part of your arsenal in case. And so when you can use it, you can use it effectively. You do. And
Mhm.
when you don't think you can, I guess it's really at the end of the day, it's up to your buyer. If they know, look, this could backfire.
Yes, and I think that's part of our job at that point is, like I said, it's reading the agent, knowing who the sellers are,
Hmm.
who's the agent that's advising them, and are they going to receive it in the
Right.
proper way. Otherwise, it can look like a brutal tactic,
Great.
or it
No,
can
but
look
I
like
see
a
the way
great
you're
tactic,
seeing it, so it makes sense under the right circumstances.
without
So
question.
I,
Yeah,
I love it for that reason. The
yeah,
first time I heard it, I didn't like it at all, but in certain circumstances, I could see it be very valuable.
yeah, it can, and that moves into what I called the sharp offer.
All right, sharp
All
offer.
right.
Let's go. Let's go. It's
All right, a
not
sharp
sharp
offer.
offer. It's sharp. Sharp.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of them recently because I think probably the same as your market. We have a lack of supply. But
Hmm.
when you get into a situation where you have multiple offers, you can write what's called a sharp offer. And that
Hmm.
means you write an offer. Let's say the house is $1 million asking.
Hmm.
So I'm going to go in at 1,200,000, knowing there's going
Hmm.
to be 8 offers. But my sharp offer is going to be that my buyers will pay $25,000 over the highest and best offer they get
Uh,
up to 1,300,000.
hmm. I love that. We over here, in the valley, not in
Yes.
fancy Santa Barbara,
Okay.
we call it the escalation clause.
Right. Okay. It's the
So,
same.
but sharp offer sounds a lot sexier, which I think suits you in Santa Barbara.
Thanks.
And but I think that's a good tactic. But again, like you were saying before, it depends when's the right time to use that.
Oh, it'll backfire on
And
you.
yeah, and with the escalation clause, you know what's in the great agents like
Mhm.
yourself. When
Thank you.
they when
And
I
you.
when they well, thank you. You're very kind. They'll come to you and say, "Hey, are you open to an escalation clause?" And I
Oh,
and I'll go to the seller. I'll say, "Look, here's the escalation clause, but if you get two of them, it can be problematic, and then it gets so it can be a little funky. And then sometimes it's like giving this guy the first right of refusal, and what if he's not the right guy? I mean, there's a million things can go wrong. So again, it's almost like you just said. It's you know the agent, you have to know who the buyer is, and then your sellers have to be educated. And then
yep.
the sharp offer and the NDA turn out to be great, great, great tools and
Yes.
to
If
have
I
in your
write a
arsenal.
sharp offer, Scott, I never do it without calling the listing agent
Right,
beforehand. Are you okay with this? If not, I'm
right.
not going to do it because it could backfire.
How
Yeah.
about the sharp offer where they submit and they don't put a cap? Yeah, so they're coming in, they're saying, look, we'll go 5,000, 10,000, 25 above anyone. And then you finally come back to them, you say, okay, it's yours, but now it's 500,000 higher. And they go, well, hell no, I don't want anything to do with that. And it's like they totally screwed up your deal and screwed up your momentum. And I think it messed up your credibility with the other
Yep.
buyers. Yeah,
That's
interesting.
why to answer your question honestly, one that doesn't have a cap on it, I would never deal with them
I
ever.
agree.
If I was a listing agent, because I
Right.
would explain to my sellers like they have no idea what they're doing. You want to go, you find that middle ground of somebody you're like, that's the person that wants the house. They
Right.
love it. They have kids. It's a school district. It could be 100 different things, but you just know instinctively that's the buyer.
Right, right, and that's another part of you being so seasoned, and having someone like yourself who understands this and can communicate that way is so invaluable. And it's I don't I, you just can't train that. That's what I think. I think why the best agents do so well is because we do things. All the best agents that I know, all the people in my mastermind group, I'm surrounded by great agents in my office.
Yeah.
Is they're able to do things that you can't really teach, and so
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think, and I know you well enough, I think there's a level of care. I think that comes first and foremost. Like, I legitimately care about my clients. It's not about a
aw.
paycheck. Well, I don't. I don't look at what the commission is. I don't look at it like
Mhm.
I want the best for them. Like that's what
Well,
makes me happy.
you
So
know what? What's interesting is I do the same thing, and there's times when I just worked on a probate, and we're coming down to the end, and I'm looking at it, I'm going like, what the hell? They're giving me 2%. I should be getting two. I'm supposed to be getting 2.5. The other guy's getting 3. And I'm
right.
looking at it, and I went, whatever. And so the buyers, who are lovely, lovely people, looked at me. Oh man, we feel terrible. I said, you shouldn't. I represent you. I'm so happy for you. You know,
Yeah.
everything's great. I said, and to be honest with you, the other agent did so much more work because he was dealing with a very complicated probate in the state.
Oh, I
So
bet.
I'm going to take the hit on this one. But I didn't look at it either.
I really honestly never look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You could ask me right now what my numbers are for this year. I don't know.
I know
I
it's so
have an
funny.
idea. I just
Right.
do my job.
Yeah. So you and I are very similar. I was at a mastermind group with my office, and Harma, who's a mentor to me and a friend and the owner of the company, he's asking numbers, and everyone goes, "Well," and they go, "This, and this many units, this many buyers, this many sellers." And I looked at him, and I'm thinking, like, "Geez, I'm like a top 5 agent here." I don't know. I said, I just put my head down and do it, and then I hand off the checks. But I'm so focused on the deal, and I'm so focused on making sure the
Yep.
clients are taken care of.
Yep.
And the beautiful part of being that way is that the clients, I think, feel really heard. They feel really taken care of, and they don't want to work with anyone else because you're like focused, like laser focused on doing right by them.
Yeah, without question. I literally, my girlfriend and I just went to dinner with a client 2 nights ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they were very complimentary to the fact that I just got the deal done. I
Mm-hmm.
focused on everything that they needed, what their needs were. Um, I even gave them money back, which I forgot about in the commission.
Well,
And
that I don't forget about.
I was like, yeah, like I just, you guys are happy. So they had us over for dinner. They made dinner at the house I sold them, and I was like, this is great. This is beautiful. That's a
Nice.
relationship, and it's
That
possibly another deal down the road.
Yeah,
So
I personally think that the more in a networking group I'm part of, it's called the Go Give attitude. The more
mhm.
you give, the more you get back. You really do. And so that's if you focus on that in your business, it's amazing how it comes back. If you just give, if you know, if the old lady calls you 3 times a day and asks the same question, and you say, "Hey, sweetie," I don't say, "Hey, sweetie," but you know, "Hey there, how's it going?" No, 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 I didn't call you because I was in a meeting, but how can I help you? It's
Right,
the deal's already done, and she's
yeah,
going to continue to call, but being
mhm.
there for her even after the deal and during the
Yep,
deal for all those little extras. It's just
without
yeah, it feeds
question.
the spirit.
Yep. No, well, actually, my experience with you is Scott. We've worked together for gosh, what is it? We're 8, 10 years now, almost
It's been a long
5.
time.
It's been a long time. You are probably one of the most decent human beings that I know, which is what I know. I really believe that. You're a great agent. You've done an amazing job of your team and everything. And I think that the best part is what we had said earlier is you follow your business with your heart. You have a very good business aspect, but that's not always what it needs in real estate. So I think when you follow with your heart, but you also have a business aspect, as we say in Italy,
Uh,
that's
Thank you so
perfection.
much. No, I really appreciate that because
Yeah,
it does mean a lot to me. And thank you for recognizing that. It really does. So, and thank
I
you,
mean it
Michael,
wholeheartedly.
for
You're
being here.
welcome.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel the same about you. Even offline, you and I have such good talks all the time
Yes,
because the kind of person you are, I feel comfortable talking to you about most anything. So,
thank you.
but thank you so much for being here.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate it. Yeah.